Welcome to Hate to Wait, where two lifelong dieters talk about their current struggles with weight loss. Diets, we've tried them all. We are not doctors, we don't play them on TV or on this podcast. Join our journey because we're all in this together.
Hey, Emily, how are you doing?
Hi, John. How are you? I'm good.
If I could describe my week last week, it would be like a roller coaster. It was, and then back up again, and then stop, and then. So Friday,
We're going right into it.
We're going
Hello,
right.
listeners.
Hello,
We're going
listeners.
right into John's week.
We're
Let's
going
go.
right into it because I was trying to eat healthy, and I have a bunch of food in my freezer that was probably expired. I pulled out cauliflower. I microwaved it longer than 7 seconds, and
We'll tell you about.
and we'll tell you about that in a second.
Yeah.
And I ate that, and it gave me food poisoning. Like it must have been bad. I'm telling you. Now, it wasn't full-blown. Well, you know me, I don't like to throw up, so I did everything I could not to. I was out for basically 2 full days, all Friday afternoon, and then all day Saturday, and half a Sunday. So that's why the podcast was late this week, because I just couldn't edit. I couldn't sit here. My stomach was growling. I was running back and forth. It was horrible.
Well, we talk about the podcast being late. We try to get it out
By
for
Monday.
everybody listening. We try to get it out Mondays. But sometimes John and I both get behind with our editing, and this is kind of our podcast that we do for fun. This isn't part of our professional podcasting careers, but it's still something that we love doing. And so unfortunately, sometimes it gets pushed to the back burner when we have client work to do or when we get sick and when family stuff gets in the way. So we apologize if it's not always out on Mondays.
Yeah. Now, the other thing was, I think I set my recovery back a day because I thought that the next day I felt good. And then normally I have a cast iron stomach. So I went out and just ate things that you should never eat when you're coming off of, being sick like that. And boy, did my body tell me, you know what?
Oh, wow.
You deserve round 2 of this.
Oh, no.
Honestly, I really don't think I really started feeling 100% until yesterday, because on Tuesday night, I was in a mastermind meeting that we have, and 2 times I had to leave. I was like, ooh, gotta go. And, just shut off the camera and just left the meeting and off I went. That was kind of my week. But the other part that was good was I started cooking. So there was dude cooking going on and breakfast sandwiches, because I really only eat 1 meal a day. So breakfast is the most important meal. And to be honest with you, it's kind of the one I like the most.
Mm-hmm.
So I've been doing that, and I kind of like it. I'm getting into the dude cooking. I'm changing up my breakfast sandwiches, and I've saw some things that were going on. And then I've also been weighing, like with the food poisoning going on and not being able to eat, and then being able to eat, and then eating stuff I shouldn't be. So I've been on the scale, and that was a roller coaster. I swing 10 pounds. Like, I'm like, how can I gain that much weight? But I guess it's just water weight or whatever.
Wow.
Yeah, so I was swinging 10 pounds like it was like nothing.
I'm curious, actually. You mentioned liking cooking in the mornings and cooking your breakfast. And I've been finding the same thing, because one thing with my week is, for those who are new, John is now doing 1 meal a day, which is intermittent fasting. But it's kind of like 23 hours of fasting, and then you have 1 hour where you're eating a lot. You're kind of eating your calories for the day in that 1 hour or in that one meal. And for me, I've been doing 6 hours of an eating window and 18 hours of fasting. But I talked about it last week. I started waking up earlier. I started waking up between 5 and 6 every morning and going to bed earlier. And I realized I wanted to move my window earlier. And so I've started having breakfast. And I haven't had breakfast really in a year and a half, and it's been so nice. I've actually really enjoyed making eggs, and I'll do a piece of toast with some jam and half a bagel with some cream cheese because I'm opening my window with all this breakfast food that I was never in the mood for lunch. And sure, you can have breakfast for dinner, but I want dinner for dinner. And I'm really enjoying having these breakfasts now and having my window be open earlier. So I don't know if you've noticed this. If with ADHD, this is for me, in the mornings, I can be very proactive. And we talked about this also last week, where in the mornings, I can be proactive and plan my day. And then the rest of the day, I can kind of be reactive. I hate cooking dinner. I don't mind cooking breakfast at all. I really don't. And I don't even mind, and I did this also this week, making dinner in the morning in the crock pot or something like that, and then having it later when I don't have to think about it.
It's a couple fold for me. Number one, you can't really screw up eggs.
That's true.
Okay.
Yeah.
Can't really screw up eggs.
Oh, I did. Wait. No, I did screw up my eggs. Kind of.
Well, you want to tell the story?
I do.
Okay, tell the story.
It's ridiculous. It happened this morning, and I was so surprised by this. So, as part of my breakfast, I made 2 hard-boiled eggs yesterday, and I decided I'll have one tomorrow morning when I have my breakfast. So I had it, and it was in the fridge, and I took it out this morning. And I don't know why, I really like my hard-boiled eggs hot, like warm, like just boiled. It's so good. I love hot egg salad. It might sound gross. I've asked for egg salad melts just so that they put cheese on top and they have to warm it up for me. That's how I like my hard-boiled eggs. So I put my hard-boiled egg today in the microwave because I didn't want it to be cold. But I've never microwaved a hard-boiled egg before, and I didn't know how long doing that would take. So I set the microwave for 25 seconds. And I found out that if you put a hard-boiled egg in, I took the shell off. It was deshelled. But after about 7 seconds, and I'm doing something in the sink, all of a sudden I hear and I know exactly what it is. And I look in my microwave and the egg is all over the place.
You know what it is? It's microwave cleaning time.
It is. Well, the lucky thing was I had just cleaned my microwave and I had no shame about taking that little tray out, that circular tray, and using that as a plate a little bit for my egg and putting it into a bowl and mix. I didn't care. My microwave was just cleaned. It was fine. But yeah, you can screw up eggs, but I still ate it. So I guess I didn't really screw it up.
And then the other thing is because I'm a narcissist and we can't do anything without taking pictures of it and then posting it on social media. I was doing it as kind of as a joke, really. And again, as a joke, it was really keeping me accountable because I had to log it and then do the calorie count. So it was in there.
Yeah.
So then the one thing I did, remember I said last week that there was a sandwich, you put the egg in there and you dip it and you flip the egg over and it was like kind of like French toast egg sandwich.
Yeah.
So I tried to do it again. It didn't really work. My chefing skills are not very good. What I did was I figured I'll just make French toast and then put the egg on the French toast. And I tried 3 slices. Why? I don't know. So I did 3 slices and then I did the egg and then I had cheese on there and ham and salsa. It was really good. But then what I really noticed was I didn't need the 3rd slice. The 3rd slice was a little too much. And then if I took that out, it really made a difference in the calorie count and also the macros as far as carbs and everything.
Mm-hmm.
And then the other thing is why do I need the bread? Because I noticed that when I started eating carbs, the weight started coming up because carbs hold water.
Also, with this new window, I noticed that when I wake up in the morning, I'm more prone to wanting carbs and like seeing a bagel and having a bagel for the first time, really, because I used to be a bagel fiend. But then once I started intermittent fasting, I wasn't eating breakfast anymore. But now I can have my half a bagel, like I have just half a bagel. I don't need any more than that. That was one thing that intermittent fasting taught me is you don't need to eat a giant amount of something to feel satisfied with it, just having half a bagel. But then at night, I really don't want carbs as much. And I think that actually helps me sleep better because one of the reasons I also wanted to move my window earlier is because I realized with intermittent fasting, I don't feel good when I go to bed with food in my stomach or with a full stomach. I really don't. And Mark notices the same thing. My husband, he notices that he gets more heartburn throughout the night if he eats before going to bed and depending what he eats too.
So, and here was another reason that I decided to move it to the morning is I can't have coffee without cream in it. So as soon as I drink coffee with cream, it breaks the fast. So I'm like, well, it's over now. We might as well have breakfast. So I got a chance to have Craig puts in here. Look at Craig. Craig, how about you? Mr. Funny Man. Egg on your face.
Yep.
So the thing with me was I was going to have my coffee and I would have my breakfast and then basically the window open. And again, when I say one meal a day, I kind of broke it up over two hours. So like I'll have breakfast and then I'll have like a little snack and then that's it.
Yeah.
And so because I wasn't getting enough calories in with the one meal, I mean, that's a lot of food. And so then what I did was I would make another egg sandwich like in 2 hours and I would eat that. So, and I'm trying to, just basically bring the carbs down. So that kind of brings us to a topic that we wanted to talk about from Deborah. She put a post in here.
In our Facebook group, in the Hate to Wait Facebook group.
Do you want to read it?
Sure. She said, well, I'll give the gist. I'll give the main question to ask because this is something I've been thinking about and there is a good discussion going on in the group about this. But how do you balance what you'll do to make progress with your diet versus what you'll do for the rest of your life? And it's a really interesting question because John and I, for the past year and a half, we've been kind of using this podcast as a way to assess what we've been doing and seeing what's working and what's not working. So it's been really nice, at least on my end, to have sort of a paper trail of, okay, these were the weeks that I kept my window at 8 hours and I didn't move it. And then these were the weeks that I moved it down to 6 hours. And then now I'm looking at the week where I moved it to an earlier time. So I'm constantly testing and adjusting. But am I going to test and adjust for the rest of my life? And she even goes into what happens when you get to your goal weight. And then you have to figure out, all right, how do I maintain? What's the lifestyle that I have to create or use this diet in or decide not to diet, but somehow find a way to maintain? So it's an interesting question and something that I really haven't given a lot of thought to, but it's probably a really great idea for anybody, especially starting their diet, to start thinking about is like, okay, are you making the changes now that you're going to be able to sustain for a very long time until you lose the weight? And do you have to keep that diet and lifestyle going once you get to your goal weight?
For me, and again, remember, I have like 50% of my body weight to lose. So I'm in a different category from everybody else. The first thing you want to do if you're listening to this is don't do what I do. I mean, unless you're, unless you're morbidly obese or something. And what I'm trying to do is lose weight quickly. This isn't going to be my lifestyle once I get to my goal weight. I'll probably calorie count, look at the macros, maybe not eat as many carbs, try to eat more natural food than processed fast food. And the reason being is because that's the other thing I noticed, eating at home instead of going out, it made a big difference on the calories. Mm-hmm. The first thing is don't do what I do because I'm running a different race than anybody else is. We're all running different races. You're different than I am. I'm just thinking about Teresa, who's in here. She's doing it. She's different than the rest of us, but we're all doing something. And this podcast is more about the struggles, the wins, the losses, and things that you find and funny things that you put in here just to kind of keep you motivated and keep your spirits up while you go through this. I'm not going to lie. It's miserable. Who wants to live like this all the time? Nobody does. Mm-hmm. And then, go to a doctor, go to a nutritionist. God. I love to make up new words and find out and learn and do what, because some bodies react differently than other bodies.
And we're finding that in our group. That's one of the reasons I really like our group is because we can give each other feedback and talk about what we're trying. And none of it is prescriptive. And that's a big thing with this podcast is nobody in our group. And we try to keep it an environment where there aren't a lot of shoulds. You should be doing this. You should be doing that. Because we know that everybody is basically doing the same thing we are, and we're all just testing and adjusting to see what works.
Absolutely. My thing is, again, we started intermittent fasting. Intermittent fasting starts at 12. Why? I don't know. Because someone said
I didn't have a reason for that. Yeah.
Didn't have a reason for why it starts at 12. I guess because we didn't want to go so long. The best part of intermittent fasting is you can sleep through most of it.
I know.
Okay. So we tried to shift it so you didn't have as many wake hours while you're intermittent fasting. But when I was going to the doctors for the surgery, the nutritionist wanted me to eat within the first hour that I woke up because it's supposed to boost your metabolism. Mm-hmm. So that's the thought on that. So then I was like, I can't have coffee till I really need coffee. And I'm like, why am I doing this to myself? Why don't I just move the window, have coffee, have breakfast, have another, or, I could even move it if I still wanted to do this 18-6, I could still do it, just do it in the morning and then make sure I have that meal before the end of the day. So I don't, I'm not hungry at the end of the day and trying to eat something. So yeah, you can kind of adjust it and see what happens. And again, I just feel that trying things and having that work. And then, like I said, and then look, once I have the surgery, that whole diet's going to change too.
Yeah, that's true. We didn't mention that John is actually doing his 1 meal a day to get down the 30 pounds he needs to lose before having the bariatric surgery.
Right. So then after that, that's a whole new thing. And then, trying to learn how to eat after the surgery, that's going to be there's no way I can do 1 meal a day there because I'm not going to be able to get enough calories. I'm going to have to be able to eat probably smaller meals throughout the day just to be able to get the calories in because I got to, I'm going from a basketball to a hard-boiled egg.
And if you don't go in the microwave for more than 7 minutes, 7 seconds then. Definitely not 7 minutes, but no more than 7 seconds. But you're having this surgery and you hate throwing up. And if you eat too much, that's what's going to happen. It's not just going to be a bad piece of cauliflower. It's going to be, I ate too much of anything.
I'll tell you what, I had an education because a friend of mine went through the surgery and she was a food addict and a binge eater. And she would try to eat pizza and then she would go into that, whatever they call that. I forget what they call it, but it's just dry heaving for like 45 minutes. I saw her go through that one time and I was like, that's not for me. You know what? I love me some pizza. I'm not doing that.
45 minutes of dry heaving.
Think about that. 45 minutes.
You know what I would do too, just to really teach myself, is the first time that would happen, I would record myself. And then anytime I would want pizza after, I'd be like, go listen to this. This is the worst thing in the world.
I don't think I would have to. I mean, just remember, tell me what alcohols that you can't even smell anymore.
Oh, green apple vodka.
Okay.
Yep.
For me, it's Southern Comfort, tequila. What's that stuff? Sambuca.
Oh, Sambucas. Oh, yeah.
Okay. So these are the three. And what's that other thing? Jägermeister. Okay.
I still have like a little soft spot for Jaeger.
Okay. So these are things that I, as a young lad, got violently ill on. And it's been 40 years and I still can't. So I don't think I need to record myself.
That's true. That's very true. I had that one experience with green apple vodka and never again. I still can't have a lot of green apple stuff in general. I'm sad. Green apple Jolly Ranchers used to be amazing, but now
Craig says, what's it, Pernod? Is that how you say that?
Pernod, yeah.
Pernod for him, he can't probably smell that it's horrible. So, hopefully going through this, everything's going to change. So even what you're doing right now to maybe lose a certain amount of weight, once you get to closer to your goal weight, you can adjust that. It's, just because I'm doing that now doesn't mean I'm going to be doing that in 5 years. And just because Deborah's boss was doing it right now, maybe maybe it's a lifestyle thing that she gets up in the morning, she's got all this stuff going on, and then she goes to work and she doesn't get hungry or whatever. And then she has that one meal and then she's busy and she goes on and does whatever. But I'm sure and then again, it doesn't have to happen all the time. I'm sure she doesn't just eat 1 meal a day on Thanksgiving or maybe, something else. I mean, you can always adjust it. It's not a law. No one's going to come in. The police aren't going to come in and lock you up because you ate another meal. And again, it's not going to affect you that much one time.
Yeah, that's really why I liked intermittent fasting, was because you could have days where if you mess up, if you were still in your window, you couldn't beat yourself up too much. And the other thing is you got to refresh after 16 hours. When I was doing the 16-8, I was just like, well, I messed up. Let's just do 16 hours of fasting and reset. And it was a really nice kind of transition. And that's another thing that's important for people with ADHD, is that transition time of, okay, I'm done. Let's have a transition. And if we don't have that transition time, we're rushed and we get anxiety when we're thrust into the next thing without having time to, decompress. But
here's another one. You got to know when to pivot.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Jennifer said that in the chat.
Yep, absolutely. So how was your week?
Well, I talked about moving my window earlier, and I also made it a point to try to cook more because, like you, I do notice that I eat healthier when I'm eating from my own fridge. So I had this recipe for Italian chicken sandwiches, and it's keto friendly if you can find keto buns, or you can put it on top of zucchini noodles, and it's super simple. It's 4 chicken breasts and a 28-ounce can of diced tomatoes and a tablespoon of pesto. Now, I didn't want to buy pesto for just a tablespoon. I get really mad at recipes that are just like 5 simple ingredients, but you're going to have to go out and buy giant jars of all 5 of these ingredients just to use a teaspoon. No. And I don't eat pesto enough that I can justify buying a whole jar. So I instead found diced tomatoes that had olive oil and basil and sea salt in it already. So it was great. It was a 2-ingredient crock pot thing. And this was a crock pot, but I used my Instant Pot for it. And I dumped the 4 chicken breasts in this giant can of tomatoes with olive oil and basil and salt, put it on for 4 to 6 hours on low on the crock pot setting, not the Instant Pot setting, but the slow cooker setting on the Instant Pot is what I'm saying. And then the chicken comes out and you can shred it up. And it was amazing. I put it on sandwiches. We put it on rolls, and I put garlic on the rolls, kind of turned them into garlic bread. And I put some cheese on top, put them in the oven. And my husband really enjoyed it because I forgot that I had an earlier window. And by the time they were done, my window had closed, and I made him a delicious sandwich that he says is delicious, but I don't know. But I will find out today at lunch when I have that leftover meal because it's a lot of chicken. But we could put it over pasta. We could put it just by itself because it's just a really good tomato chicken. Add some Parmesan mozzarella cheese to it, and it's great.
So one of my dude cooking things was I went to the local grocery store and I got a rotisserie chicken. And I came home and it was still, hot. And what I did was while it was hot, I took all the meat off the chicken and I just put it in, in a bowl. And then I just put it on my cutting board and I chopped it all up. And I added some finely chopped onions and a little bit of chopped celery and some mayonnaise. And I mixed that up. And then for lunch, I had chicken salad. Like I just would take a thing of chicken salad and put it on there. And then I had green beans with it or, whatever vegetable that, not cauliflower anymore. I think I'm off the cauliflower for a little while. And then I would have that, as a meal. That was like my second meal. The 2-hour thing. I'd have breakfast and then I would just have that, like I call it a fistful of chicken salad and the vegetable, and that was it for the day. And I was fine. I mean, I wasn't really hungry by the end of the day. There was a couple times in the middle of the night I woke up and my stomach was growling. I wasn't sure if that was because of the sickness or whatever. And I'm not going to lie, there was a couple times where I did go in and have a piece of toast. Because I was a little nervous. I just had a piece of toast because I was like, I don't know about this. And then I can't remember which day it was. Oh, yeah, it was Saturday. It was after Friday. I was sick and I felt better Saturday morning. So I went out and I went to Taco Bell and I didn't realize they had these nachos, the nachos they have, but they have the new one, which is like a bigger portion. Mm-hmm. It's like how you get the big box of tacos? There's like 12 tacos in it.
Gosh, now all of a sudden I want 12 tacos. Now that you said that, I forgot they had that, but yeah.
This thing was this big thing of nachos, and I said, can I have that? And I wasn't paying attention, and when I went to pay for it, it was like $10. I'm like, $10 for nachos? Well, when they handed this thing out, it was like a shirt box size of nachos.
Oh, my gosh.
It had everything on it. It had jalapenos and I'm not coming off of food poisoning. I'm eating jalapeno peppers and refried beans and all this stuff. And boy, did I pay for it later on that day. So then I was telling Sam about it. She's like, well, what did you think was going to happen? That's not what you eat. You eat tea and toast and, you got to ease back into it. Not me. I just went full force into it.
You just belly flopped right back in.
So then that set me back another day. But that was like the first time I had like a real full-on binge.
Wow.
In a long, long time. And what else did I do that day? I was a bad boy on Saturday.
You know what? I did the same thing when I had my stomach bug last month too, actually. When I had it, I had a 36-hour fast because it didn't feel good. I felt yucky, like I was going to throw up. I didn't throw up, but I felt like I was going to. And then when I finally got my appetite back, it was appetite for the worst stuff. And I actually had Coke for the first time in probably a year, or at least close to a year. I got a small Coke at McDonald's because here's the thing. All right, if you're going to cheat and have soda, you go to McDonald's and you get the best damn Coke that exists in the entire world. The best Coke comes from McDonald's. They triple filter their ice so that it's like super, super clean ice. And then they make it so cold. They do something to the ice that like makes their Coke taste amazing. And they know that. And this is like a trade secret for McDonald's that they do that. So if you are going to cheat and have a Coke, I will say go to McDonald's and get their Coke. But I did the same thing you did after a stomach bug. I went to McDonald's. Why? I just wanted crap at that point.
Yeah, well, it's funny you said that about McDonald's because after the, oh my God, this is what I'm talking about. And then the binge. So, because it's coming back to me now. I'm coming out of my food-induced haze. So I had the nachos, and it didn't hit me yet that I was feeling bad. So then I went to McDonald's, and because you get the 2 for $5, I got 2 quarter-pounders with cheese, and of course the McFlurry with the snickerdoodle in it.
They need to get rid of that, John.
Right.
I'm sorry. It's been too long. We need an intervention.
And a Coke. And the funny thing about Coke was when I was a kid, when you had an upset stomach, they would give you a Coke syrup over ice, and you would sip that. And it would actually soothe your stomach. So it's funny. Maybe I should have had some Coke back in the when I first started feeling better, and it wouldn't have been bad. And that says use the brat, which is what is brat? It's bananas, rice, applesauce, or toast. Okay.
Yeah, the brat diet.
I'm not a big fan of the applesauce. And then the other thing, what was I thinking? Taco Bell on a good day.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, when Taco Bell is on their game and you can actually get some health benefits from their freshly shredded lettuce.
Yeah. On a good day when I eat Taco Bell, sometimes there's issues. So why would I do that after coming off of food poisoning? Nothing made sense. And then I was telling Sam at the end of the day, and she was just looking at me with this look of bewilderment. Like, what were you thinking? What were you doing? Craig does not eat an unpeeled banana. Stop that. No one eats the peel. I love our chat. It's like they have a show on it, a show on a show. All right. So anything else that we're missing here from your week?
I talked about my Italian chicken, which I meant to put that as my winning Wednesday because I was so happy that I could finally cook it yesterday on Wednesday. Because the day before, I went to the store for all the ingredients, all like 3 ingredients, and I forgot the chicken.
This recipe, this chicken recipe, something.
I was so excited to find these tomatoes, and I came home and I was like, Mark, look at these tomatoes. It already has some basil in it. I don't have to get the pesto. And he's like, great, so we'll have it tomorrow. And I'm putting everything away, and I'm like, nope, we can't have it tomorrow because I don't have the chicken.
Yeah, I need something. I'm missing something here. What would it be? I think it might be the chicken. The chicken might happen.
Yeah.
I like the rotisserie chicken because I don't have to, there's just no muss, no fuss. And I'm going to say it. And I said this Monday in my Facebook story. I'm sorry, but I like chicken on the bone. When a chicken is cooked on the bone, it adds flavor to it. So when you take a rotisserie chicken and you pull that meat off the bones, it's more flavorful in my humble opinion.
It does. I like white meat a lot better if I can eat it on the bone. But just boneless chicken breasts to me are the most, they're so boring. So anything like this Italian chicken that can make chicken breasts exciting for me, I'm all for. But other than that, unless it has a bone in it, ugh.
Exactly.
Yeah, I'm with you.
All right. Do we want to do Winning Wednesdays?
Let's do some Winning Wednesdays.
Winning Wednesday, Winning Wednesday, Winning Wednesday, Winning Wednesday, Winning Wednesday.
By the way, if you're in our chat when we're live in our Hate to Wait discussion group on Facebook, we're live Thursdays at 11 a.m. And if you're in our chat and you have a Winning Wednesday, I guess, for Thursday, you can put it in there and we'll happily read it on the show. We only have 5 comments this week. Usually we have quite a few.
That means I only have to screw up 2.
Okay. So Ingrid starts this off with she made it to the gym, and it's been 2 months since she's been at the gym. Ingrid is our walker, too, so.
Chuck says, stuck to my workout and stuck to my eating window. I'm not doing anything exciting. I'm just trying to be consistent. Hey, here's a to-do for consistency.
Yep. Elaine says, got back on the proverbial horse after weeks of being off course. Yay!
My to-do broke. Teresa says, curling 20-pound dumbbells consistently. I know that's not heavy weight for a lot of people, but it's heavy for me. Non-scale. I'm in the 3rd week of my Voodoo challenge and just booked a space for the wrap-up party in April.
Yay!
I'd love to go to that.
I know. I've seen it the past few years, and she like gets decked out, and she'll go on her social media and have us pick her dress or her outfit and stuff. It's a lot of fun. And Teresa also says, have not successfully folded a fitted sheet yet. That was my Sunday goal post, but I am optimistic. Fitted sheets. Okay. The only person who would care about my fitted sheets is my mother. And I used to go nuts trying to fold these fitted sheets on the off chance that she would come to my house and look in my closet to see if I remembered how to fold fitted sheets. And now I asked my husband and I said, hey, as long as they're clean, do you care if I just ball them up and throw them in the little cubby that we use for our sheets? And he's like, nope, it's fine. So, Mom, I'm not even sorry. Yeah, I'm not even sorry that I ball up my folded sheets. I try my hardest to fold them up. They end up kind of like a burrito, but they're fine.
And we have one more because Craig wants me to read a third one. Craig says, I've lost 2.7 kilos since January 1st. Don't know what that is in American. Craig, neither do I.
I'm not even sorry.
Whoops, sorry. Wrong button.
Hey, Google, what's 2.7 kilos in pounds? 5.92 pounds.
There you go.
All right.
All right. Oh, Annette says, Weight Watchers. I started tap class. Whoops. Not Weight Watchers. See, they've got me brainwashed.
I thought Weight Watchers too. You know, there's so many initials in dieting that you have to be aware of all the time. Of WW might mean Weight Watchers, but for us, it means Winning Wednesday. Yeah.
Right. Winning Wednesday. I started tap class this week. Couldn't have done that this time last year.
Yay! Tap class. You know, one of my other friends just got back into tap dancing for the new year, and now she posts pictures on Instagram of her tap routines, and it's a lot of fun. I always liked tap dancing.
I could see where that would be a lot of fun.
Mm-hmm.
You know, just rattling around. It's like drumming with your feet.
Oh, it was. I did it at camp, and it was a lot of fun. The back of your legs end up hurting a lot because you're constantly stomping. But it got out so much aggression, and I always felt so good after tap dancing because it was like, no, stomp louder, and I was like, okay,
Sure.
yeah, wonderful.
Someone wants me to make more noise. Yes.
I know, it was great.
Usually, it's like, stop that. My Winning Wednesday was I started stretching my hamstrings. And because that I was reading somewhere, and it's true, if you have tight hamstrings, it puts a lot of pressure on your back, a lot of pressure on your knees, and it is making a difference, you know, as far as mobility a little bit. So hopefully, maybe that could have been an issue too. There you go. All right. Are we ready?
I'm ready.
Ready to get ready? Here we go.
Ladies and gentlemen, now is the time for the moment you have all been waiting for. It's time for the weigh-in.
All right, episode 83. I'm going first. I'm down 2 pounds. I was up 3. Yeah, I was up 3 last week for Shark Week, and I'm back down 2. So I was worried that I would have to go to a 4-hour eating window with my new schedule of getting up really early. And then I was like, no, wait, what? You know what? Maybe my stall is just because my eating window is too late. And so I'm glad I didn't make myself go down to 4 hours and I kept it at 6 and I just moved my window. I'm so happy for this little adjustment because as soon as I made that adjustment, that's when the scale started going down this week because I was checking to make sure because I was like, I don't want to come on Hate to Weight and talk about it if it's actually making me gain more weight, but it's not. It's been working out really well. So yay.
Yeah, very good. And for me, I am down 5 pounds.
What?
I think that has a lot to do with the food poisoning diet that I was on this week.
True. Yeah.
Well, I don't know, though, because after that, I was up 7.
Oh, wow.
And I was like, 7? And so I adjusted things, and it was like, then the next day I was down 3, and then the next day. So it was really weird that, I came down that much. I got on the scale. I was talking to Sam last night, and I said, if things work out the way I think they're going to work out, when I get on that scale tomorrow, I'll be down 5 pounds. So got on the scale this morning, down 5 pounds. So, hey.
Yeah.
I get one of those.
Yeah. And we hope everybody else has done great with their weigh-in this week. And if not, don't beat yourself up. We're all about grace here. Give yourself grace.
Again, it doesn't. The worst part is just throwing a hissy fit and then throwing it all away.
I know.
If I could go back and tell 25-year-old John anything, I would just say, look, don't throw a fit and then give up. Just keep doing it. Oh, I missed one of Craig's Winning Wednesday. Also, at least 10,000 steps every day this year.
Yay!
So that's amazing. So, and we have a fantastic group. We're coming up on 300 members.
I know.
We're getting close. So, and I'm excited about that. So if you'd like to join the Facebook group, it's very easy to do. All you have to do is go to hate2wait.com/Facebook and come on in. We have a lot of fun, I think. And I'll tell you, there's sometimes when I don't know, down or I guess hungry, or basically what it is I'm going to do something that I shouldn't be doing. I'll go into the Facebook group and I'll just read some posts and I'll look at some memes and stuff like that. And it really does give me a pause enough to really fight it off. So I think it's a great thing to do. I mean, we have a lot of fun in there.
Yeah, I think I spend a lot of time in groups on Facebook at this point. I'm kind of getting more away from the main feed and mindlessly scrolling. So one of my favorite places to go is the Hate to Wait discussion group, because that's where I get my support from. I don't have to scroll and, we do not do politics very often in the group, so it's a very safe political place too. So
yeah, we try not to. I save all mine for my main feed just so I can piss off half my friends.
I know. Don't follow John on his main feed.
Yeah.
He's a lovable teddy bear in here, but
yeah, I get outside there. I get roughed up. I get my feathers roughed up, and then I have things to say.
You do.
Let me tell you, people, I've got issues here.
Oh man, my husband had an idea like that, and he's like, "I should do a podcast, just mark comments on the news," and he thinks this is an amazing, like, never done before idea. And I want to be like, "Are you kidding me?"
Resist that. Unless you want to be called stupid and dumb.
I know. That's the other thing. And I'm like, if you do that podcast, you are not associated with me at all. There is no, this is my wife. There is no, and Emily also hosts. Nope. That is all you.
Yeah, because people I go insane when I see stuff. I'm like, how are they, what? So anyhow, it is kind of like a safe group in here. And really, there's no judgment. Like when Deborah put that post up there, I was like, oh, God, don't follow me. Oh, no, don't. Oh, no, stop. Don't do what I do. It is something that when we come in here, we talk about the issues. And we've had in the past 83 episodes a lot of different things that we've pivoted on and tried and changed. And I think that's it has helped me. Well, look how well you've done. I'm still dieting. I mean, I haven't lost as much as I really feel like I should. But you know what? I'm 40 pounds lighter than I was last year. I can't remember a year where I was lighter than the year before. Can't remember one.
So in doing this show, I am doing podcast math. I have lost 66 pounds, and we are at 131 pounds lost altogether. So, John, you're probably 50-something. Hey, Google, what's 131 take away 66?
The answer is 65.
60. I've lost 65 pounds. You've lost 65 pounds. I've lost 66 pounds.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's huge. And it would not have happened unless we were here and were held accountable and tried things. And then when I'm not lying, I've said that. I came in here and said, I'm not doing the show anymore. I've had enough. I'm not going on there and telling everybody what I just did this week.
But I think one of the funniest things is I feel like you coming on and doing a show, you would rather do that than have to DM me and be like, Emily, I don't want to do the podcast anymore. I feel like you would feel so much worse doing that than coming on and being like, I ate everything. I'm not even sorry. I'm not even sorry.
I got to tell you, and another reason why, and this is really the reason, is because I wish that I had found this podcast when I was 40 years old, because I think it would have made a big difference in my life. I think I wouldn't have went down the road that I went. And if I can find somebody right now that is starting that's listening and can identify with what I'm doing, like Jonathan Oakes, him and Jennifer Briney have the podcast, which is what's it called?
Talking Fat.
Talking Fat. I listen to that and my heart breaks with Jonathan. Like everything he's talking about, I identify with so much. Mm-hmm. And if I would have had that when I was in my 40s, I think I really could have changed my life. So maybe somebody's out there 30, 35 is going through this and says, you know what? I don't want that. What's going on with John? I don't need that right now. And the best time to turn that around is when you're younger. It's easy to lose weight. You haven't ruined all your joints yet. The arthritis isn't as bad. And, to be able to make that lifestyle change at 30, 35 will add that many more years to your life. So that's one of the reasons why when I say I don't want to do this anymore, I think about that one person that might hear this, that might turn around and change the way they're doing things. So that's basically why I do it.
Johnspiration! We get at least one every episode.
I try. All right, everybody. I think that's it for us. Show notes. If you want the show notes, hatetowait.com, or just click that information button on your podcast app and it'll be in there. Emily does a great job with the show notes. And we'll be back here next week, hopefully with more weight loss and definitely more dude cooking and more recipes, right?
Yeah, and hopefully no more microwave explosions for me.
No more egg explosions.
No more egg on my face.
All right, everyone. We'll see you back here next week.
Later, waiters.